Hello everyone and welcome back. I am the Leech once again. We're moving into game 3 here between LiquidTLO spawning as the purple Zerg here in the 6 o'clock position against MouzMana, the green Protoss up here at the 3 o'clock position. And TLO cracks me up because whenever he plays random, he just goes ahead and tells people, I am Zerg this game, so have fun, good luck. TLO's going to start moving his Overlord up there, and he is probably going to scout out MouzMana before. And their little conversation here kind of cracks me up. TLO is probably going to find this base here, though. I'm sorry I'm mumbling so much. You have to understand, I just got off work from a 12-hour shift. That was about 6 hours ago, and I decided not to sleep much before that because, once again, I was playing tower defense. I believe it was called Sumo's defense, and I had to beat all 114 levels because, I can't stop right in the middle of something. So I was playing that all night for multiple hours till about 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I went to work at 7, and that just about murdered me. And here I am still awake, so no big deal. Possibly going to see another Forge Fast expand here from MouzMana. The way he has this pylon set up. And spoiler alert, again, spoiler alert, not spoiler alert. MouzMana has won the first 2 games of the series, so TLO really needs to pick up this 3rd game just for his sanity's sake. It would drive me insane to lose 3 out of a best of 3 here. Here we see TLO is going to go for possibly a 14 hatch. I hope he does. Nope, he is going to do something crazy. I don't know if he's just going to scout. Yep, looks like he's just going to scout. He's going to go spawning pool here first, which I decided to miss because I'm awesome like that. TLO surrounds the probe and takes out the scout because it was driving him crazy. And MouzMana is going to do his Forge Fast Expand build. TLO going that spawning pool first, and that spawning pool is actually going to be finished really soon, way before that Forge, and TLO could do damage with Zerglings if he decides to get him out here. He doesn't have gas, so he's not going to be getting Speedlings very quickly, but if he decides to pump out Zerglings, he could run them into the base. And TLO does have 4 Zerglings on the way. The Forge is going to finish here very shortly, and MouzMana has thrown down his expansion here. TLO trying to just kind of block some building placement down here to make sure his Zerglings are going to be able to sneak in. Cannon is coming down now for MouzMana, and that's probably going to stop any forward pressure that TLO could have thrown down. TLO still just droning up, getting his queens out. And he did throw down his expansion down here now in the 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock position, I guess if you want to be really exact. Both players just kind of getting ready for a decent macro game again, like last game. Once again, I want to thank everyone just for coming and watching. These are my first few casts here, so I know they're completely terrible, but I'm not going to promise, but I'm just going to hope that it gets better. And TLO is actually throwing down a double expansion down here, just like last game. This one was faster than the 3rd from last game, and TLO spots the probe up here. He's going to try and take out with Zerglings, and because the probe ran on the creep, he's definitely going to be able to. Queen will finish it off there. TLO hasn't really shown what route he's going, of course. It's a little too early. When he double expands like that, he's not going to be able to throw down many tech buildings at all. Cybernetics core coming down for MouzMana. He does have that nice little almost complete wall offset off there. It's enough to deter those Zerglings because there's 2 photon cannons coming down here. So the Zerg on 3 base and the Protoss on 2 base. I'm just going to say again, this is from the last patch, so it doesn't have all the cool UI setups for casters as the new one does. The new one has supply and food and minerals, gas, and supply for both players up at the top right corner at all times. So it's very easy to just look up there and make a quick reference to see what's going on. TLO is getting some spine crawlers down around his base just to throw any early aggression. And another Stargate coming down for MouzMana. I almost want to call him Slayer's Alicia with this type of play because Alicia was very successful with it in the TSL, GSL, even Team League. And was very impressive with it. Throwing down a pylon here for MouzMana behind the smoke so you can watch for any Mutalis or drop play that TLO might go for. TLO is still just pumped out more Zerglings, just about to finish up that spine crawler. Looks like the Warp Gate research is coming down now for MouzMana, and TLO is getting a lot of Zerglings. He actually does have, let's see here, 12 Zerglings out at this time, and 2 Queens. Queens he's just using for the Vom Larva, and he'll probably be getting a third out here soon. Yeah, the third's on the way. So that he can really start pumping out units. More Zerglings still coming out for TLO, up to 18 Zerglings now. As you can see, the only offensive unit that MouzMana has is that Sentry, because he feels really comfortable here with this wall end, where the Sentry can just throw down a force field. These cannons are easily going to push back any real amount of Zerglings that come out from TLO. Would be cool to see TLO do a Baneling bust. I would be very impressed. TLO still just making drones. He is going layer tech now. And he does have 2 gas down at his main. I didn't check the other gases here yet. 2 gas down at his main. 2 at his first expansion. And 1 on his third here. And once again, this base is similar to the last map. A lot of these new GSL maps are actually starting to do these builds where they have less mineral patches, and they have 1 high yield refinery place there to get gas. So it is kind of an interesting deal. They also have these supply depots here at the bottom of the ramp, so Terran can't do early wall offs here or block people in at their base. So that's kind of an interesting change. It does mix it up a little bit. Spire coming down, so TLO just going straight from spawning pool to Spire. Kind of an interesting deal. He is saving up a decent amount of gas, so he's going to be able to pump out a few mutas right at the beginning. See, it's going to be 71 supply, 257 supply of MouzMana, so TLO a little ahead. Phoenix, though, starting to come out. I believe there's 1 Voider out on the field. Yes, there is. And with Phoenixes to back that up, it could be pretty freaking annoying for TLO to deal with. I'm not sure where that Voider is right now. I really kind of want to find that. TLO's going to see that Phoenix there. Not sure where that Voider is. That is, oh, here it is. Taking out Zerglings here. Thought that was a pylon for some reason. I was wondering why TLO hadn't killed it yet. TLO Spire just about to complete, and TLO does have an extra queen out, it looks like. Actually, I'll just make sure. Yeah, he does have 1 extra queen out. He could be using that to spread creep, but probably just to be cautious against those Void Rays. And as you can see, that third base coming down now for MouzMana. Get another observer out, and TLO droning up. Made 11 drones just now. He is getting the air attacks, getting Corruptors out and Mutalisks out. Probably preparing for any sort of Colossi play. We do have the Robotics Bay coming down, so TLO does have his Corruptors and his Mutas out a lot earlier than he did the last game, which should help him against the Colossi. He might even be able to try and go in and snipe some. There's not a huge Stalker count here this game for MouzMana. He actually is very sentry heavy and has a few more Zulks than last game. So it's going to be interesting to see how he tries to play this out. 1 Colossi and Extended Thermal Lance coming out for MouzMana. Looks like 8 Mutas are just about to finish for TLO, and the few Corruptors also getting some creep tumors down to keep spreading that creep. And TLO's Mutas and Corruptors are starting to come up here. They're going to take out this pylon, no problem. You're going to see MouzMana start pulling his army back here. Nice thing about this for TLO is he can prevent any pushes for a while just by harassing. And he's going to take out a decent amount of probes here. There is 4 Stalkers there. That's going to scare the Mutas away, but I mean, gosh, he probably killed 2 or 3 probes there and took 1 hit on 1 Mutalisk and lost 1 Corruptor, it looks like. We do have about 13 Mutalisks out now for the Zerg player. I keep wanting to call TLO Terran just because Terran's my favorite to watch him play because he's so innovative. A 4th base also coming down for TLO. And trying to come in here again. He does hit the Stalkers a little bit and then realizes, oh, this might not be a great deal, and then decides, okay, let's go for it. TLO being very aggressive with his Mutas. Very, very aggressive going for this cannon. Still 4 Stalkers here. 2 more being warped in, and they're actually deciding to run away, so TLO's going to get a lot of probe kills here. If we look at the unit counting station, TLO is ahead by about 20 workers right now. Just did a decent amount of damage there. Even forced a Guardian Shield by MouzMana, and TLO throwing down a 5th base down on the 8 o'clock position there. That's going to be very important later on. TLO is throwing his Mutas into some Stalkers with Guardian Shield. He decides to pull back, decides that's not going to be a very worthwhile engagement for him. Also has a bunch of Zerglings hiding up here in the corner, and so if MouzMana does decide to move out, TLO is going to be able to get a really nice flank here because he's had those set up for so long. TLO's still just sitting on a spawning pool and a Spire. That is all that he's using. Actually, infestation pit too, so we could see infestors come out, but that was most likely maybe just get him to hive tech if he wants to get there. Haven't seen any infestors come out yet. Take a look at the army tab. TLO is 30 ahead on supply, which is a decent little gap, especially since he's double expanding here. And he's doing more Mutaharass here. Only 4 Stalkers. TLO is going to be able to drop 1 or 2 of them. There is a lot more coming in. TLO is probably going to decide to back off here. 1 Photon Cannon coming down, but once you have this number of Mutalisks, 1 Photon Cannon is absolutely nothing. And TLO is just pressing his advantage more and more. He's about 40 supply ahead now, and it's looking pretty grim for MouzMana. TLO just keep expanding all over the map. He's throwing down a 7th base up here in the very top position and still just harassing with these mutas all over. TLO is getting his hive down. He is just getting constant upgrades, more mutas coming out, and just keeps expanding. It's very smart by him. He's just increasing his amount of larvae, increasing his income, and just really pressing his advantage instead of going for some all attack. Really, he doesn't have an army that he can do a direct attack with. I'm a little surprised that MouzMana hasn't tried to just go push TLO already, because TLO is definitely just getting farther and farther ahead as the game goes on. As you can see, 167 supply to 137 supply. And TLO, just a huge group of mutas here, and he's attacking in a good spot where not a lot of stalkers can hit him because he was right on top of these gateways. Guardian Shield going down. TLO is actually just going to stay in here and go for a few hits right on. That's very interesting. I don't know if that was the right choice, but at the same time, he does have such a higher supply that he can kind of afford to throw away units. He's still about 40 supply higher. And a lot of Zerglings here, and a huge group in the middle, and TLO just keeps poking up the front, kind of gauging if he can make that attack or not. More mutas coming out, and I believe that's his Spire must have been killed, or he's just throwing down a second Spire. Interesting. I'm not sure why he would do that, and maybe I'm just seeing something wrong, but I believe that's a Spire building. Yeah, a second Spire. Maybe to do double upgrades, I guess. I've never seen that play done with a Spire. I've seen it done with a Roach Worm before, not with a Spire. So that's, once again, TLO, you never know what he's going to do. TLO's pumping out 34 Zerglings, also getting a greater Spire right now. And Colossi coming out. TLO's not going to be able to do too much damage with those Lings. Those Colossi just melt them. The Muta's coming in, though, and getting all the Colossi, really taking all their shields away and then running, so that's unfortunate. TLO has got to be able to defend this. If he holds off this attack, if he can stop this army from MouzMana, he's going to be able to win the game, no problem. His macro is so far ahead right now. If we take a look at the units, we see 2 Colossi, a Void Ray, some Phoenixes, some decent force builds going down, nothing too crazy though. TLO's mutas are doing a lot of damage here, using them just as a straight attacking unit, which is very interesting in battles like this, but I guess he really didn't have any other choice. And TLO's actually targeting the Stalkers down first, which is a smart move. He doesn't have any ground units, so he doesn't need to rush to kill those Colossi. And he is going to be able to just pick off units as they're trying to run that. Colossi is going to go down to the Zerglings, and these mutas are probably going to take out the other Colossi here, especially since it's running away from these Stalkers.